The next part of talent that we want to talk about obviously is close to our heart, and that's modernization. And, every service line that we sell is about helping business scale and grow. And one of your favorite topics is, of course, org structure. And so, too frequently we hear the idea of it's like a 3-year-old building blocks, right? And you just kind of hire because it's like, oh, geez, I have a need here. That's become 40 hours worth of work. I better hire someone. So you put the block in, and then next thing you know, George quits. So you replace George with another mimic exactly the same as George. And then you're constantly just hiring and responding and not really thinking through and not stepping back to think, what could I do differently from a process perspective instead of a people perspective? What could I do differently from a technology perspective? And how could the processes and technology support the right people and maybe a different level of person, be it lower and more economic, or more executive and analysis, So there's also the idea of like the gig, the temp, the fractional, and where could I actually choose not to have a traditional hire like a full-time employee and instead leverage the ability to get a fractional executive, get a fractional CFO, get a gig worker in, get a temporary worker in. So there's all these things in today's world that are available to employers, but way too often when the recruiter phone rings, it's so-and-so quit. I need someone just like them without any stepping back. As a lover of org structures, what do you think employers need to think about and do? And when should they do it?
It's hard to say, right? Like it's such a complicated, first thing, it depends on obviously the life cycle of your business. So for a more mature revenue producing business, I think aligning your strategy and your functional responsibility, i.e. your accountability chart, your org structure, is crucial. And I think it helps you deliver more efficiently and effectively to your client base. I think if you're more on the startup phase of things, I'm less concerned about like roles and responsibilities. Even those are, I think you need some for sure. You need a job description, so you need some level of roles and responsibilities. But I think you're more after, like, I'm not going to say unicorns. I think it's an overused term, but like people that really can survive in a little bit of chaos. So, I would say it just really depends on what type of organization you are. But generally speaking, I like to really think through and, again, kind of plan what resources you need for, to meet your current demands. And then, are you investing in idle capacity for future growth? That's a strategy, but it has a cost for sure. But if you believe in where you're going, then maybe it's a good investment at the end of the day. So, I think these are all things that you need to think through in the hiring process, and especially in the early days.